I did it.
You did it.
What's going on? We're back. We're back at it.
Back at it.
We're back to the fucking grind.
It's been a minute.
It has. I mean, it's been a few minutes.
A few minutes.
We've been busy.
Yeah.
We've been really busy. Things been a little kooky crazy.
No
A
joke.
little cuckoo for Cocoa
A little
Puffs.
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Do they still have cereal commercials? I know that's random, but I just thought about that.
I don't
Thinking
know.
about cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Honestly, I hope they do.
I haven't watched cable in so fucking long.
Do you remember the Reese's Cup commercial?
Reese's Cup, Reese's Cup.
Peanut butter chocolate flavor.
Peanut butter chocolate flavor. Yeah, that was great.
Love those.
They
Do they do those?
Yeah, there was a whole song. I don't remember the whole thing, but
There was. I mean, they kind of do jingles like that, you know, with the new Burger King one.
remember the BK. Yeah. Do you remember the homeboy for Cookie Crisp?
Yeah, it was like a dog.
Cookie Crisp.
Oh, it was like a wolf.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the big bad wolf, and he was hunting for cookies. He was a fucking chocolate chip fiend.
He was menace.
Did you have Cookie Crisp growing up at all?
Yeah.
Did you?
Like, listen, I know my childhood was a little depressing, but we did still have Cookie Crisp.
Yeah. Well, you know, I got Cookie Crisp a few times, and I hated it. But I didn't have the balls to tell my mom I hated it.
It's not very good.
You know why it's the worst? Yeah. No, because it gets soggy so fast.
It does. That's true.
And when it gets
I
soggy,
hate
it's
soggy cereal.
literally mush. There is some cereals that are good soggy.
Ew.
Yeah, it's true.
What?
Like, I think Cocoa Pebbles is good soggy because it lumps together and it almost becomes a new cereal.
Ew.
Also, what it does to the milk. I wish it would do to me what it does to that milk. Oh my god, please. But Fruity Pebbles, I don't know. I don't really fuck with Fruity Pebbles too hard.
I like fruity cereals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Pops
like...
isn't bad. Soggy.
I don't like
Pops?
soggy cereal. I have a texture thing, though. So, like,
You do.
soggy things, it's not it.
Most people with texture things don't fuck with grapes. It's a weird thing.
Oh, really? I love grapes.
What's that about?
Actually, they do freak me out, like, a little bit.
Is it because they're skin? You have to break through the skin?
I think well, it's the same reason I don't like, you know, like, the gushers that, like, you bit
Fruit
into.
gushers? They bust in your mouth?
Yeah, I hate those.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
like, grapes are very similar for me
Yeah.
in that sense, where
They
I, like,
bust in your mouth.
I get, like, a little anxious right before I take a bite.
Yeah. You're
Because, because it's like I'm waiting for that.
you think
it's
the
almost
juice
like-
is going to shoot down your throat and choke you out?
No. But it's almost like that, you know, that when you go to the eye doctor and they do that puff in your eye? It's like that.
That's fair, I guess. The puff in the eye is the worst. Going to the eye doctor in general is pretty much a nightmare. What, you walk in, and there's a lady at the front desk, right? I'm just going to use this based off of our last visit.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I try to make any social interaction at least a little bit strange. That way it's more comfortable for me. Because I'm more in my element when it comes to that stuff. Like, weird environments is where I live. What are you doing?
I'm readjusting. Listen,
You like hand gestured to me like, keep talking. Like there's a secret to be had, but you're just changing how you're sitting.
Yeah.
I
didn't.
It's fine.
My chair is very loud, so I didn't want to like bring.
It's so squeaky.
It's so squeaky. I didn't want to bring any attention to like.
I think we have some WD-40.
Okay.
Give it a little.
I didn't want to bring any attention to me moving, and then you just like brought all the attention to me moving.
Yeah, as I was talking about how I like to make social interactions uncomfortable.
Including every single one of ours.
Not every single one of ours. Ours are incredibly comfortable. Are you not comfortable around me?
No, I am.
Are we about to find something out about each other? You're just not comfortable around me?
When in a relationship does like it stop becoming like a social thing?
What do you mean?
Like when do you think like I mean we kind of socialize, but like you don't really drain my social battery, if you know what I'm saying. So like at what point in a relationship does your partner stop affecting like your social battery?
I think that's one of the telltale signs that you should be in a relationship with somebody, or like you should be very close friends with somebody. Of course, there's like the romantic feelings and all that stuff, all the gushy stuff. You know, it's like, oh, she cares about how I feel, and oh, she's into the same things I'm into, and oh, she has a huge rack. But like, there's a lot of different factors, and I think one of those things is just genuinely being comfortable with somebody no matter what. And like I think not draining that social battery is a big part of that. Like for me, like with you, when we first got together, we socialized with each other a lot before we got together because we were friends before we, did the thing. And I think the reason that I wasn't adverse to your advances, because you came on to me, let's not lie. You did. Yeah, you did. Don't even.
You did first.
That's not true.
That is true.
Are you going to have this debate with me? Because we've had conversations.
You've admitted that you did. That you were like...
Oh, that's technically true. That is technically true.
So, technically...
Okay, all right.
You came on to me first.
Okay, do we want to tell the story?
We haven't given our origin story, have we?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, let's do it.
Want to do that? How do you want to do this? Because it's a fairly interesting one, I'd say. It's not crazy.
It's not crazy. So, the first time we met was at your graduation.
Yes.
And I promise I'm not creepy. I didn't just show up to some, like, random person's graduation and then just...
Your best friend at the time.
Yeah.
Was graduating with me. And me and your best friend just happened to be pretty close as well.
Yep.
And so you were at her graduation for her, and she has a little brother who had no idea who I was. Very eccentric character, and plus he was a younger kid, so like, just all that energy plus, just being an outgoing individual. He saw me, and I don't know if somebody pointed him out to me or what it was, or if he just recognized me because I had never met him.
So, like at your graduation, like they do pictures.
Yeah.
And they kind of like cycle through pictures.
It was a younger brother, right?
It was a younger brother.
Okay. All right. I don't want to get it twisted.
No. And so we were cycling through pictures, and my friend at the time had like shown us all what all the people in your guys' friend group look like.
Yes.
So he knew everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not have this context.
Yeah. So he like, he would be like, he'd point at a picture and be like, that's this person. And then he'd be like, oh, that's this person. And then he's like, oh, that's Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's adorable, by the way. But, and so he, I guess, recognized me, even though I was looking a little rough that day. Looking back, I was looking a little rough. But, he ran up and gave me a hug. And I had never met this kid before. At first, I had no idea who it was, so I was kind of looking around panicked. Like, there's a small child attached to me right now, and I look the way I look. This is not a good look. This is not a good look at all. So I'm looking around for help, and you come running up, because I guess you were doing like a pseudo babysitter type deal, kind of looking after him.
Yeah, pretty much. I was super... Oop, I just hit that.
I was
super close with her family, so I had spent a lot of time over at her house, where, her little brother was.
Yeah.
So, and we spent most of our time, like, in charge of him, like, watching him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. At that point, like, I was so close with this friend, we were, like, it felt like we're basically sisters.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just, like, a pseudo older sister for him.
Yeah. And so, you come running up. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember exactly how the I don't want to call it an altercation. What is it? Interaction? I don't know. I don't remember exactly how the interaction went, but it was something just like, hi, I'm Shelby.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey.
I apologized.
You apologized profusely for the small child clinging to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's fine. Like,
we're in a crowd of people, and this kid just keeps running from me, and I'm like, you're gonna get kidnapped. We're in downtown Akron.
It's like weird, but okay. So yeah, that was it. And then you basically fucked off.
I did.
And I fucked off in a different direction, and I got ditched for the rest of the night, so I just went home with my parents.
We might have to go back.
Why?
I just doxed us.
That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't care. Unless you do.
I don't know.
Do you
care?
No. Nobody's gonna fucking... No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's okay. If anything, I will just... I'll just... Actually, you know what? I'll insert that soundbite over the location.
Please do.
Okay. All right.
I was like, I don't.
That's fine. Yeah. It's not... I don't think it's hard to find us, but I guess outright saying it is something we would want to avoid. That's fine. That's fair.
Sorry.
Make you work for it a teensy bit. Only a little bit, but a teensy bit. You know, I've halfway doxed us before, but only kind of. Anyway.
Sorry about that.
Nah, it's fine.
All right, back to your regular scheduled program.
Yeah. And so fuck, where were we? Yeah, at the end of that interaction. And then so one of the things was you lived like an hour and a half away from us, and I was going to school with your best friend at the time, and that was a thing. And so yeah, so since we were fairly close, I would say, at least I believed then, and so I was invited to go to Kalahari with you.
Well, you're missing stuff.
What do you mean?
Before that, we had...
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the festival.
We had gotten together to do this festival.
Yes, festival in my hometown. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was awkward.
It was very awkward,
to say the least.
Yeah, because like out of our friend group, me and you were always kind of singled out. We were kind of the odd ones out.
It, like almost right from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was like we were almost like pushed together.
Yeah. I was like, I know you're not familiar with WWE, but I was the Santino Morello of the group. I was just comedic relief. Nobody actually cared about me. I just made people laugh. So they kind of just strung me along. And you were attached to your best friend at the time because you were childhood friends growing up and all that. Yeah. So we both kind of didn't fit into this new circle that they had formed, and we just kind of were kidding ourselves into believing that we could.
Yeah, pretty much.
So like when we got together and we all got together for the festival or whatever, it was pretty immediate that we kind of figured that out about each other, or at least I figured that out about you. I don't know if you... I didn't quite get that at the time.
Yeah. I mean, the only other people we were
I was
there
in denial,
with,
but I understood your situation.
The only other people we were there with was like a couple and then my best friend.
Yes.
So like she was super attached to the girl of the couple.
Yeah.
Too. So like they were all just kind of like hanging out, and then I was like, I want to do the sketchy rides, the sketchy rides they have at like pop-up festivals.
Yeah, just pop-up little shitty festivals. Plus it was right on a lake and it was not high budget.
It was really fun though.
I enjoyed myself.
It was a lot of fun.
Because of you, but I enjoyed myself.
Oh, thank you.
And also because that meth house exploded and we got to watch it from across the lake.
That's true.
Sick.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking sick. We just see flames rising above the tree line across.
I was literally like, "Hey guys, there's a big cloud." I'm like, "I think something's wrong," and they're like, "No, it's just the fire. It's just the fireworks." And then
there's a plume of smoke.
And then like 10 minutes later, we start hearing the fire sirens, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, wait, that smoke is still there." Yeah. That's not the fireworks.
And then later on, I think it was either later that night or the day after we figured out that it was actually right down the street from where this best friend lived.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like right down the street.
We drove past it all the time, and it was just their garage had just burned to the ground.
It was crazy.
It was pretty sick. But, yeah, so we were at the festival, and we were lonely. Well, I was,
mad.
I was in my sad boy phase a little bit, doing that whole thing. And you were,
chasing a guy with a girlfriend.
You were chasing a guy with a girlfriend. I remember that vividly. You took my flannel.
I took your flannel.
I gave you my flannel to wear because you were cold.
And I didn't give it back. I have no idea where that is.
And you fucking ghosted me.
I did.
You fucking ghosted me. Which I understand. I did not have a lot going for me at the time.
Not only that, like I was very clueless. I want you to know I was super clueless.
Yeah, but that's usually how I am. So it was weird for me.
Yeah.
To be on the other end
clueless.
of it. Yeah, I'm very much just airheaded when it comes to that shit. I do not pick up on signals, like, at all. Not even a little bit. So, like, that was strange.
To be fair, that friend had told me, too, that you liked her. So I was like, oh, he's not...
Yeah, there was a period of time where I did, and I think she just kind of got it in her head from other people that were talking to her that I still had a lot of those feelings when I kind of didn't anymore. For
not only
reasons that I won't really get into because I don't want to slam unnamed people even,
Yeah. But, like, not even that, too. Like, so in my head, I'm like, oh, he liked her.
Yeah.
And we look totally different.
Yeah. But...
So I was like, oh, if he likes her, he's not going to like me.
Yeah, you're more my type, though.
And to be fair, you are also not my type.
Yeah. You are more my type than she was, for sure.
Oh, cool. It's the tits, guys.
I like tits, and I like redheads. I'm sorry. You didn't have red hair at the time, but I could see through it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I knew it was true.
Fair. So then we went on this trip to a water park together.
Yes. Yes, but this is after. Hold on. I want to add as much detail as I possibly can to the festival trip because, holy cow, my mind frame after that. I want to go into our separate point of views, leaving that interaction because that was such a pivotal moment for us in our relationship. Because you also, I do know where that flannel is because you gave it back to me at the end of the night. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it was the end of the night. I was hammering it on. I was working you. I was working the fuck out of you, but you were just not having any of it.
You didn't even give me your number.
No, because I didn't really, You
give me your number. You didn't say, I'm going to add you on Facebook. You didn't say, what's your Instagram? What's your Snap?
Yes. Yeah.
We're not old, but we're where Snapchat was the biggest thing.
Snapchat was the shit then.
So it's like, you didn't even ask for my Snapchat.
Yeah, well, for me, Snapchat wasn't the biggest thing. Snapchat was the thing where you went to get titty pics. And while I did want titty pics, I'll be honest.
You didn't ask.
Yes, it's true. I did. I had it drilled into my head growing up, with a single mom for the most part, that a lot of those things and asking for those things is creepy, no matter what. And so, my whole thing was, in my head at the time, because I looked the way I did, I perceived myself to look super creepy. I didn't want to act creepy on top of it. So I was like, I need to just fucking keep it inside. And if she wants to make a small move, then I can act on that. But until then, I'll just flirt my way into seeing if she wants, anything more than that. And you did not, which is fine.
Yeah. Clueless.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, that's fine now. We have a baby sleeping in the other room. But no, and so I left that night. I was crushed. I was defeated. You fucking crushed me. You destroyed me. You ended my life. And I was sitting there and I was fucking bummed. I threw that flannel in the hamper so hard, dude. I said, "Ugh!" I said, "You fucking you piece of shit." And then as I threw it into the basket, a big cloud of your perfume poofed up and I was like, "You piece of shit. I'm moving out." Because I was living with my grandma at the time in a bedroom. It was a depressing situation. But, yeah, that was how I felt afterwards. You probably didn't feel much of anything.
I wouldn't say that.
I was destroyed.
I think from what I can remember, I went home and I was like, oh, Zach's really cool.
Aw, adorable.
No, I was like, oh, I think I just made a new friend. I was like, hey, unnamed friend, I think Zach is really cool. And she was like, no, I don't think you guys have anything in common. I don't think you guys can get along.
Yeah.
And then what continued to happen, literally after every single hangout up until the time we actually got together, when we did the group thing, or even if it was just me, that friend, and Zach, we were always getting pushed together.
Yeah, because it was very obvious we were the odd ones out. And this friend did not want us to be together at all. But looking back, I'm like, how did they expect us to not be together? Because we got fucking trashed so many times at your guys' apartment. We got dosed with well, to be fair, it was me and my brother most of the time we would just pour liquor into Kool-Aid and be like, this is blue drink.
Yeah.
And everybody would drink blue drink for the night, and you couldn't taste the alcohol. You'd get sloshed after 2 cups.
Oh.
It was a nightmare.
My God.
How did we entertain ourselves? We just sat around and drank.
Around in a circle and we drank.
That was insane. But there was so many moments where your friend at the time there, well, I guess I should say our friend, but was she really? But kind of got a boyfriend, and so it was kind of just us hanging around a bunch of couples that started just giving each other handies and shit in front of us.
Yeah, doing couple shit.
Yeah, and we're looking around and we kind of knew there was undertones that we were not supposed to be together. It was this weird unwritten rule that we could not be together. We could not do it. And so we're kind of we're just looking around, totally left out, absolutely left out.
Yeah, but then the thing is every time, even if we weren't drinking, we would just always be talking. We'd always be talking about something.
Yeah.
We were just always.
We're both talkers.
We're both talkers.
Yeah.
So we were just talking and hanging out. So then honestly, they would just start ignoring us. So we would just hang out.
Yeah.
And then like when they every like once in a while when they remembered that we were in the room and they would look over, they'd be like, "Oh, Shelby's all over him."
Yeah.
And
to be fair, there were a few times you absolutely were.
Absolutely. And you still didn't get it.
No. That's my bad. I know that. Like I said, I'm usually the clueless one. I am much more clueless normally than you were that one night.
But also at the same time, like, they would do that, and they'd be like, "Oh, Shelby's all over him. She's taking advantage of drunk Zach." And I'm like, drunk Zach, who probably has a 10 times better tolerance than little old me.
True, I did.
So I'm like, am I really getting him drunk and fucking with him? No. Or are we just both drunk and just doing what fucking teenagers do?
Drunk teenager shit.
We were doing drunk teenager shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what it was. We were just like pushed together.
We absolutely were pushed together. I can think of multiple times where like, there was a night where like our friend and her boyfriend went into their room, started fucking banging, and like my brother and his girlfriend at the time were on the couch doing their thing, and two of my other friends who were a couple were in the kitchen, for fuck's sake, doing their thing, and they threw us in your bedroom together.
And they were like, "But you can't sleep in the same bed."
Yeah.
You were sleeping on the couch.
To be fair, I white knighted the shit out of that. I stayed on that couch.
You did.
I stayed on the couch. I was a nice Christian boy. Mm-hmm. I was staying true to my
But then
oath.
We just sat there and we laughed at literally everybody else.
Yeah, we just giggled.
Yeah. We just drunk giggled.
We were just some giggling fools, man.
It was so funny.
But that's when I kind of started realizing that it was a thing that could actually happen, because I was, like I said, I was in my sad boy phase. I wasn't like, nobody's ever gonna love me, blah blah blah.
Except that girl that just always gave you head for no reason.
True. That was something. That was kind of after the time that I'm thinking of, but it was around the same time. But it was. They were
They were happening simultaneously.
Yeah. But no, and
which was an added to the forbidden thing, like, oh, you can't be hitting on Zach because he has this girl.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, and in my head, and I said it a couple times, I'm like, they're not dating.
Yeah, I was getting booty calls.
I was like, literally, I said multiple times, I'm like, they're not dating. Yeah. It's not serious.
Yeah, I was just on call for booty calls.
And they were just like, no, like, it's serious. Like, they hang out all the time. And I was like...
Which is so weird for them to gas you up for that.
Gaslit. Literally just gaslit me.
A little bit, yeah.
They gaslit me for a lot of things.
I don't think I outwardly expressed that it was a super committed thing. I know I was, like, they started repeating over and over again that, like, because I know there was a point where, like, your head was on my lap and we were both sitting on the floor or something. We were just drunk out of our minds.
I was sitting, like, my legs were, like, you were laying on the ground, face down, and my legs were over you.
Yeah, and then, like, they kept on repeating over and over that I was, like, cheating or something.
Yes!
And that's a huge thing for me because I've been cheated on before. So I had a whole fucking mental breakdown. I'm, like, in a fucking fetal position. Like, what the fuck? I can't cheat. What the hell? Yeah, I was drunk and it was terrible. It was not a good thing.
And I'm like...
It was not a good environment.
And in my head, I'm like, he's not I'm like, one, my legs are over him, so that's that.
You know?
I'm like, I'm feeding him shots while I'm laying, like, my legs are over him.
There was a lot of overly, you know... You were pretty fucking affectionate, but it's not anything that was, you know.
You weren't cheating. You didn't have a girlfriend.
Exactly.
It was dumb. It was really dumb.
It was dumb high school shit. It was
dumb high school shit.
But talking about it is so interesting because it's literally just like that drama shit. Like, thinking back to that level of drama, I haven't experienced that since.
As, like, an adult.
Yeah. That level of stress that those people caused me. And I don't even know if they realized that they caused me that level of stress because not a single one of them actually stopped to ask me how I was doing, ever.
Mm-mm. It was like, hey, how are you? And you'd try to answer and you'd be like, and then they'd be like, okay, let me tell you about this that happened.
Yes. Yeah. It was literally all of them. And, you know, it was just one of those things where with time, it's become abundantly clear that they did not give a shit about me. So, like, thinking back about that level of stress that they caused me is so fucking funny to me now. Because, like, how did I let myself get so worked up by these people that so obviously did not care whatsoever about my well-being? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so hard.
And same with you. They drug you through the mud, too. It was terrible. Yeah, they pinned us against each other. They absolutely did.
Yeah. So when we, like... I don't know, when I first started developing feelings, it was like soon, I don't know, so we started dating in December. I think I started realizing that I had feelings in like November. And it was like after there was like a music night that I was like a part of. And
and I'll establish what the music night thing is, because it's a tribal ritual that I used to have. Me and my parents, my family, music is a very, very large part of our lives. It's basically what we base our personalities on. It's just music. Music is our everything. And I know that's very cliche, thing to say, but it's very true in this case. Music is our everything. So we would have nights. We tried to do it weekly, but we couldn't do it weekly because I was, we were all starting to do that thing where we were just starting to grow up and actually like have our own responsibilities and stuff. So we weren't able to do it all the time because, jobs and shit. So we would just all get together. We'd throw in a bunch of CDs into this fucking big old stereo system that we still have out now. I inherited it. It's so dope. Holds 5 CDs. We just throw in 5 CDs and we just fucking blast them. Top volume, just these big fucking speakers, just bump the house off and just sing our throats out. And we invited, it wasn't really like we invited. A lot of them were impromptu. Like a lot of it was just my parents would look out the back window because I lived in their guest house at the time. They'd look out their back window, they'd see that I was home, and then they'd be like, fucking bet. And then they'd just come back, throw in some CDs, and we'd start doing our thing. But that's where like I had my first beers and shit. Was like my parents would be slipping me alcohol when I was fairly young. I won't say numbers because but and they'd be like, oh yeah, here's a beer. But you were there for one of them.
I was there, and I don't know what it was, but it, like just something clicked. Yeah. And like you were singing, and I was like, oh my god. I'm like, what is this that I'm feeling? Yeah. And I think your mom had mentioned something to you. Yeah. After that night.
Yeah, my mom was convinced that you were perving on me, which I guess you were a little bit.
I was.
Whoa, hey, come on now.
I don't know if it was like creepy perv, but it was definitely girl crush level at that point. Yeah. So then like things started like slowly kind of happening.
We watched a gay porn together.
Took you to court. Took me to court.
All before we were together. Yeah.
Got you hungover on crab rangoon.
True. I'm allergic to fresh fish and shellfish, specifically shellfish, but fresh fish gets me as well, but not in like a normal like throat starts swelling kind of way. I basically get high off of it. If I have too many fresh fish or like shellfish, I get incredibly woozy and my memory goes a little blank.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was that.
Yes.
And then like I was having some money struggles, as every college student does, and I was like almost not gonna make it to Thanksgiving. Like I did not have enough gas money to make it
because your family lived an hour and a half away.
Because my family lived an hour and a half away. I was struggling to make rent. I barely made above minimum wage, and I was working like maybe 16 hours a week. Like it was rough. Yeah. So you had gave me some money. You had like stuck some money in a pack of cigarettes because I was still kind of smoking at the time.
Disgusting.
I was barely smoking.
Disgusting.
So then I go home for Thanksgiving, and like I'm telling my family about it, and I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I think I might like him, but I'm not sure.
You like me?
I was like, my friend doesn't want us to date. Like, she's really been kind of like upfront about that. Plus, I'm having issues with this friend because we were roommates.
And there was a lot of complicated things going on that neither of you handled well at all.
No.
Put it that way.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know if I want to like poke the bear and even try it. And, my family was pretty much like, hey, if you like him, if he's super nice, just like try to hang out with him one-on-one.
That's your mom.
It was my mom.
So your
It's
mom.
My mom and my aunt.
Yeah. The women in your household were like, fucking YOLO, do it.
Yeah. They're the best hype men.
They're great.
They're so fantastic.
Yeah.
So I did. Like I texted you, I think either on Thanksgiving or it might have been Black Friday.
I do not remember.
But it was one of those, and I texted you.
I was probably higher drunk. It was a rough time.
And I was like, hey, do you want to hang back when I get back from Thanksgiving? Like, do you want to hang out?
You invited me.
I did.
You invited me to a hangout session.
And I knew my roommate was going to be gone. Our friend.
I was unaware of this.
So I was like, hey, do you want to come out and just hang out with me? And I said it too. I said, hang out with just me.
Yeah.
You just want to like hang out.
Still
just me and you.
oblivious. Still oblivious.
Still oblivious.
Completely.
So you came over.
Because I was still on my sad boy shit. I was like, nobody's ever gonna love me.
Yeah.
We're just
so
friends.
you came over.
Yeah.
And it started out with the night of me, you, and my friend were all looking for apartments together.
Yeah, because we were gonna move in together.
Yeah. So me and you started looking at apartments that would be good for all three of us.
Yes. Oh my god! Holy shit! You remember all of this?
Yeah, and I was like sitting on the arm of the.
I really.
I was like sitting on the arm of the couch with my legs over you and the laptop on my lap. So like it was like a 40 position.
And then it made us. I didn't see it that way, but
you did not.
It's because I'm a moron.
And then I made us, those like rice pack, like the rice side dishes.
Yes.
That you get at the grocery store. I made us one of those.
Gourmet.
Yeah.
Delicious.
And then we watched 3 Saw movies back to back, and we just slowly started like cuddling.
Yeah.
And like holding hands and butt touching.
And then I grabbed your butt, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I tried to get you to stay over.
You did. But I was having issues with my mouth at the time, and I was not about to embarrass myself. I was like, this is my chance. This is it. Mm-hmm. But why right now?
And I think we both kind of just, I think I jumped the gun. I kind of just assumed like, okay, we're dating now.
You did. You absolutely did.
I absolutely did. I don't know how to, honestly, I
scared the piss out of me.
I did not know how to date as an adult.
Yeah, me neither.
So I was like, are we dating now?
No, it wasn't even that.
My butt.
We were on the car ride home before we really said anything about it.
Yeah, and you were still holding my hand, so I was like, what the fuck are we going to tell our friend?
That's literally what you said. It's like, what are we going to do about this?
I'm like,
because we were panicking.
I was straight up panicking. I was like, holy shit, I didn't think it was actually going to happen. She's going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
So then I after that night.
Yeah.
A couple days later or something.
We were like planting the seeds a little bit.
I did. So I was like, hey, I think Zach might like me.
Yep.
And she flat out told me, she was like, no, he hates you. He thinks you're so creepy. He thinks you want to just jump his bones. He thinks you're slutty.
To be fair, you did want to jump my bones a little bit.
I did, but
Sorry, I'm fixing my mic. The things are fucked up. Go on.
But no, in the context of he thinks you're creepy. He thinks you want to jump your bones. He thinks you're slutty.
Yeah.
It's painful. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts the
which
heart.
were things that I said about you.
So
we've talked about this before.
Yeah. So
not on here, but we've
but I texted you and I was like, do you not want to be I'm so confused. I'm like the friend is saying all these things. I caught myself again. Like the friend is saying all these things. I'm like, do you actually not like me? Do you not want to do this?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, I did say those things, but I felt pressured to say those things.
Absolutely.
So
she had a very creative way, and I don't know if she always did it consciously or not. I think it was a mixture of things, where she would kind of form her own narrative as to what she wanted people to believe, and then find a way to subtly enforce that through conversation. Just by talking to her, she would kind of drop hints as to what.
She's a master gaslighter.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know if she always did it on purpose. It didn't seem like it to me. But it definitely happened.
Looking back, I think with true adult eyes, I would definitely say at least 75% of it was on purpose.
Yeah. Part of me thinks that's a little unfair though, because we were all just dumb high school kids. So looking back at it with adult eyes isn't how we should look at it, I don't think.
Probably not. I don't know.
We don't have that perspective anymore. We're jaded.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It was a difficult situation.
Exactly.
But so anyway, so those, I tried to and it didn't work out. So eventually I think we were both just suck it up.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening.
Yeah.
We really like each other.
Yes. Yeah.
And then she started laying out all the ground rules.
Yeah. That was a little tough.
That was tough.
That was very tough. It was a very strict household, and it was very strict rules for us and not necessarily for her, even though you were paying rent, and it was never my place. It was always her place.
Yeah, even though I was paying rent.
And it was a whole thing, and it was ugly, and it was dumb. Honestly, it was so dumb.
Yep.
It was so unnecessary.
Yep. And then we got to I don't know, maybe 2 months into our relationship, and some of my boundaries were really broken.
Yeah.
By not you specifically, but by her.
Kind of me.
and kind of you.
Kind of me,
and
but it was on accident. But I'll take responsibility for it.
It was really like, so they had, so I'm gonna give this context because this was like kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, right?
Yeah. Oh, we're getting into the tea. I thought we were just doing our origin story. We can do some tea.
I feel like this is like the biggest part of our origin story because like the rest is history.
True. After this, the rest quite literally is history.
So they had I'm giving quotes here, a guy's night.
Yeah.
I was not invited.
Yeah.
My friend, who I thought was my friend,
yeah,
was. She told me I couldn't come because I'm a girlfriend now, and I'm not one of the guys. So I sat alone in our apartment, drinking wine, while you and your friends and her got super drunk.
Yeah. Which, looking back, I realized I didn't have any of that context at all. From my end, I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was not you couldn't come because you were a girlfriend now. That wasn't part of it for me.
It's because I wasn't one of the guys, is what you told me.
It was because we had this established group that would party together and everything, and it was made out to me really that it wasn't a big deal that you weren't coming. It was very much made out that it was fine and that nothing was weird about it and that it was totally whatever, and at least that's how I remember it.
Yeah. No, I was not allowed.
Yeah.
That's how it was. It was like, no, you can't.
Yeah. I did not know it was a strict you are not allowed kind of deal.
She told me I was not allowed.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I do not remember being aware.
I was not one of the guys and she was one of the guys. That's exactly, like, that's almost word for word. You're not one of the guys, I am, kind of thing.
Yeah, which was less thinking about it now is super weird, but then it was not weird because we've been saying that to her for the entire time we've known her. So like to us it wasn't weird to say that she was one of the guys because we've literally told her that for a long time at this point.
Yeah.
So like it was a very weird kind of thing, semantics kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. So here's where my boundaries were crossed.
Yes.
So one, I was not allowed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Two, a couple days beforehand, I had put like a cheesecake in your fridge at the guest house for like it was a teenager thing, right? It was like one of our month anniversaries, so I got you a cheesecake.
So fucking cute.
And I had come back the next day, and she had like admitted to like feeding you cheesecake.
She fed drunk me cheesecake while I was sitting on the kitchen floor.
Yeah. And then so she had told that story while she was wearing your underwear over her pants.
Yeah. She dug through your
underwear
dresser.
drawer. Yeah.
Yeah, my dresser, and took some of my undies and put them on over her pants.
So like already like I was feeling really like not great about that.
Yeah.
Like about not being invited, and then her feeding you was like real. So I had texted her later that day.
Like, what the fuck, Richard?
And I was like, hey, like, guys' night, whatever, hurt my feelings, but can you please not feed my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Like, that is exactly, like, I'm like, please don't feed him. I'm like, that makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's my boyfriend. It makes me feel weird that you were feeding him and wearing his underwear.
Yeah.
And she was basically like, you're taking my friend, you're doing this, you're doing that, and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I had said, then I'm just moving out.
Yeah, that was something.
And obviously that's not how you should do things, but I was 18 and dumb and really pissed.
I'm not going to lie, that day, I remember that day very, very clearly. That is the day that I remember very clearly because I was very, very stressed out because I felt like I had done something terrible.
Yeah.
I felt like I had split you guys up, and I was very, very angry at both of you at the same time because in my mind, I was still under the impression that this wasn't a huge deal, you know, because I was immature and unaware and oblivious to all that bullshit and the nuances of that kind of relationship and everything. And so like I was very, very angry at both of you because, you know, obviously I was angry at you guys for being as angry as you were.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, just chill the fuck out. Everything's fine. Take a deep breath. And then you texted me saying I'm moving out. And I was like, fucking what, dude?
Yeah. To be fair, like the cracks were there
Yeah.
for much longer than you probably were aware.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I knew there was trouble in paradise, but I had no idea how bad it was.
It was really, really bad. Like,
it was rough.
It was to the point where, like, I was hiding in my room.
Yeah.
It was not a great situation. But so then, like, I was like, oh, can I just crash for, like, a week, and then I'm gonna find my own place.
Yeah.
Or I'm just gonna live in my car until until I can move back home or something like that. And you were like, no, just move in.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I never left.
You never fucking left.
I never left.
You never
left. We
left.
have been through 2 apartments, a house.
Yep.
That we rented. We bought a house. We had a baby. Like, I just never.
The
left.
rest is history type shit.
Literally, the rest is history.
They did not stick around.
No.
None of them did.
Absolutely none of them.
The people that actually care about me have stuck around. And the ones that were very shallow friends and didn't actually gel with me or really care about either of us ended up in the wind. And, you know, I understand that maybe her feelings were hurt and that she was going through a tough time as well, and that it forced her into circumstances that she didn't like either, but she never made any kind of effort to reprimand that relationship or repair that damage, which for a long time I think was 100% possible. 100% possible.
Yeah, I remember I had reached back out like months later.
Yeah, you were apologizing over and over for shit that was not your fault.
I was like, absolutely. I was like, apologize. I'm like, I said I've grown. Yeah. I feel really bad.
Yep.
You know, she was like my best friend for like 7.
You wanted your childhood friend back. You wanted your childhood friend back.
And I'm like, you know, I feel like we can, if we can't get to where we were, maybe we can
just work on it.
Yeah. And it just never happened.
She stiff-armed the fuck out of you.
She did.
And it was made very uncomfortable for me as well, because anytime I would go out with them after that, because I tried to stay friendly with them because I still cared about them as friends. I really cared about them, even though I realize now that was not really reciprocated. At the time, I really did care about them, so I tried to make that effort, and every time I did, it was made incredibly uncomfortable, because it was like, if Shelby comes, she's just your girlfriend. She's just your girlfriend. And it's like, that kind of language and everything is going to create a divide. I don't care who you are. Mm-hmm. If you shut out the idea of willing to accept somebody, that it's not going to work. And I understand there was a lot of mud in the water, and that it was messy, and it was dumb high school drama shit, and everybody was very dramatic back then because we were dumb kids and this, that, and the other. But like, it's true that like it was all so incredibly unnecessary. It was so extra.
It was a lot. And then it like, I don't know how many other people, like how many other like extroverted like girls or women out there can like attest to this, but like when you already have a hard time making friends and something like that happens where like I really lost trust in a lot of people. And I'm like, I was so terrified of making friends for so long. I didn't even just until recently started where I was like, okay, I think I'm comfortable, like, actively trying to make friends outside of like normal work acquaintances.
Yeah. And like, I know it's easy to think that somebody's dialing something up when you hurt their feelings. I understand that. I grew up with my 2 younger brothers being that way, where every time you would do a small inconvenience to them, they would blow it out of proportion and pretend like it was a bigger deal than it actually was. So like, you saying that you couldn't make friends really for a long time, you know, she might think differently. She might think you're dialing it up, but in reality, it's true. I've seen it. I came home every day to you. I have seen you every single day, and it's true. It fucked you up. And it's one of those things where it's just an unfortunate thing that happened with you and somebody who you really, really cared about. And, you know, it changes you.
It's very much like a toxic, like getting out of a toxic relationship. Yeah. And like trying to rebuild yourself afterwards.
God, the glow up though.
Thank you.
Jesus.
But it's difficult. I feel so bad. And that was a friendship. Mm-hmm. I couldn't imagine like building a life with somebody and then that happening to them.
Yeah.
Because I was gaslit. I was manipulated. I was definitely, it was a very, very toxic friendship.
Yeah.
It was a very, very toxic relationship. She used a lot of things against me, and it just wasn't cool.
And we were both hardcore enablers for that stuff.
Absolutely.
We were both hardcore enablers. We enabled the fuck out of them. And, you know, that's on us.
We got bit. We fucked around and we found out.
We fucked around and found out is what it was. You know, we played with the snake and we're like, oh, this is a nice snake. This snake's not going to hurt us. Oh, it's rattling its rattle. That's fine. It's just playing. And we got poison, you know. And pretty much. That happens, though.
So,
Helps you grow.
It does make me wonder, like, what would happen now? Yeah. Because we are in such different places.
I haven't thought about it recently. Jesus, it's been a good. Well, we were in the last house last time we talked about it. Yeah. It was what, 2 years ago, something like that. Around 2 years ago.
It was before I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
The first time.
So about 2 years ago, yeah, we had that conversation of like, do you want to try and reach out again? You know, and obviously that didn't happen for I'd say pretty obvious reasons. You know, because
I definitely wasn't ready then. I think I would be ready now. Yeah. And be like, you know, I even then when I had tried to have the conversation the first time, I was a very different person. Yeah. I am even more so. I'm a mom now. Oh, dude. I have a very professional job.
Yeah. It does change you. It does change you. The whole having a kid thing.
It changes perspective on things.
110%. I won't say it was immediate. A lot of people like to gas you up and say that you're immediately going to be a completely different person. That's not true, but it does happen pretty fucking quick. You know.
So, like, it changes your outlook on petty shit like that.
Oh, totally.
And in the job I have where I can see people at their worst, you tend to be like, yeah.
Accepting.
You're so accepting on, like, it wasn't on, and we were kids. Yeah. Growing, and it's not like, it's been what, like 5, almost 6 years. And I mean, it's not like it's been a crazy amount of time, but a lot of change happens from 18 to where we are now.
Yeah, when it comes to that stuff, like those friendships that are formed early on in life, a lot of people tend to think that it's not worth rekindling or at least putting forth that effort. I regret not doing that enough. There's people that I talked to when I was younger that I really, really regret not getting to know them better as adults yet. I want to reach out eventually. It's just right now, of course, not a lot of time, but, you know, and these are people that I didn't end things on bad terms with. These are just people that faded out over time. I have there were some people that I called my best friend, and I haven't talked to them in years just because life gets away from you. You know what I mean?
It really does. It really does. Because, like, one day you're a junior in high school thinking about what college you're going to, and the next you are sitting in a house you bought with your baby asleep.
I think it's worth it to give it a whirl, though, when you have your mental resilience up. You know what I mean? Like, for your situation in particular, it's very, because, like, I don't want to reach out to them. I don't want to do that at all. If either, because we were both very close with them. I thought, at least looking back, we were not friends for very long, but when we were friends, we were fairly close friends. It wouldn't be, it would not be my place to reach out. If it would be one of us, it would definitely be you. Yeah. But having the ability to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, if they try to hurt my feelings again because of this, will I be okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I can confidently say yeah.
That's what really matters. That's how you know you're ready then.
Yeah, I can truly be like, I'm too old for the bullshit now. Yeah. If you want to be in my life, and be a part of my family, because honestly at this point our friends are so close to us, like the friends we have now, they are family.
We have the best friends.
They are my son's uncles, like straight up. They are my son's uncles and aunts. Yes. We are a great family. Yeah. And if I have someone outside of that who wants to come back into my life, like, you know, that's a serious thing. It's like I don't let people in that often.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like, if you don't want that, cool. Okay. Have a great life. Okay. I'm glad we ended and we can stay. Like, add me on Facebook so I know how your life's going.
Yeah. Because it's like, even though there was these terrible things that happened between you guys, it's hard to take away that compassion you feel for somebody. It's like I was talking about my friends that I haven't talked to in a long time. Granted, those things didn't end on bad terms. They just, whatever. But for me, I still really care about those people. When I see their name pop up on my Facebook timeline, I smile. I'm like, oh, dude, that's my boy. Or that's them. Or, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to, I have that too.
Yeah.
Like, I had that too. I had, in, like, middle school and early high school, there was, like, a group of 4 of us that were super, super close. Mm-hmm. And 3 of us out of that 4 all had babies around the same time.
Yeah.
2 of them had babies in November, and we had ours in January. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, I've commented on their things and liked their things. But, like, I think about that all the time. I'm like, how awesome is that, like, I considered you at one point, like, one of my closest friends. Yeah. Like, you were like my hashtag best friend in middle school.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like letting go of that love. Oh. Because I think if I was them, I would want people to have that love for me. I want to leave that impact on people's lives, if that makes any sense. Yeah. People that I meet, I want to affect them in a way to where they at least hope I'm doing okay. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like less and less people go through that effort, though, or feel those feelings now.
I think some people think there's, like, no point in feeling those. Like, I think they think those feelings are, like, mundane. Like, they're kind of pointless.
It's useless because you don't get together all the time or you don't talk all the time. Yeah. But no, mutual love is still love. And I think that's just fine.
This, like, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not religious at all. But, like, I believe that what you put out into the universe, you receive back. And I think even if you don't realize that people are putting that kind of love out towards you in the universe, it still affects you. Like, it still, like, gives you that kind of, like, unaware support, right? Like, out there somewhere in the world, someone that you don't talk to anymore still thinks, wow, I really hope they're doing okay. And I think that, like, really, if you're aware of that, I think that really can affect you and, like, change you.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's one of my biggest driving factors to be a good dude, you know? It's like, I want to be a good dude. That way, when I say bye to somebody for the last time, even if we don't know it's for the last time, there's still fond memories to look back on, and there's not spite and all these negative feelings and stuff, which is why I think when you reached back out to them,
Sorry.
ASMR wine pouring. Are you halfway through that bottle already?
What?
Oh my god, dude. You're a fucking fiend.
It's really good.
You're a fiend. It's alright, it's barefoot. It's barely alcohol.
I was about to say, it's...
it's barely alcohol. But, no, I think that's impressive. I think it's impressive to have that ability. Especially that first time, because the wound was still somewhat fresh and it was still affecting you on the level that it was.
Yeah.
It really, really admirable for you to put forth that effort. It inspires me, honestly, to want to do the same thing. Because I think it's worth it. I think you owe it to yourself. Even if the other person wants you dead. Even if the other person wants you dead, you owe it to yourself to try. And
I'm not even going to say I have that for everybody. Because I have people I've cut out in my life that I will never put the effort back in again to communicating with you. Ever.
Yep.
And for different reasons. But with this friendship, the reason that I would put the effort back in is because it was a friendship. Right? Like, the other people are more like, they were family. So that's supposed to be unconditional love, and I didn't feel that.
Yeah.
But with your friendship, like with friendships, it is conditional love.
It started and it was so long for a reason. And it's just finding that reason.
And we were both children.
Yeah.
That's so important to emphasize. We're both children. And the other people I refused to put that effort into were adults.
Yes. Yeah, that's a completely different
dynamic.
Yeah.
And now this isn't me saying that, like, if you have a friendship that ended really, really badly,
you're obligated
to do it, or it makes you a better person to do it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
you need to do what's best for you. And if you don't feel like mentally that you can handle having those types of conversations with people, or you don't feel like that person would be receptive at the time, like then
exactly,
it's all up to you.
Yeah, that's like what I was saying before. It's like if your mental resilience is up and you are ready for them to try and hurt your feelings, if you're ready for the worst, if you are genuinely prepared for the worst, then that means you're ready. That doesn't mean you have to do it. It's obviously situational. Every situation's different, but you know, in some cases, you owe it to yourself to at least give it a whirl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, like, that's pretty much our entire origin story. How crazy is that?
Yeah. I would say it's fairly normy. It was just high school drama. Nobody wanted us to be together. We did it anyway, and everybody pretty much shunned us out of their lives.
Yeah, we made a whole...
give or take a few details.
We made a whole life for ourselves. We put the energy and effort into people who loved us together and did not care. Like,
we put our noses down, man. We fucking did the work.
And a lot of it was us just grinding.
Yeah.
We were just like...
Together.
And
also each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were crazy 18-year-olds. Sorry. But that's the thing, like, our entire relationship is built upon us building ourselves up together.
Yeah. It's worked pretty well so far.
Yeah.
We did pretty good.
And we kind of talked about in a couple, I think last episode, or maybe the episode before that, like, if we were different people, if we didn't communicate the way we communicate, we would not be together.
No way.
But that's also part of, like, starting our relationship at 18, freshly out of high school.
Being friends before we were together.
Like, we made a commitment to ourselves that we were going to be friends first.
Yeah. We did some That 70s Show shit, kind of.
We did. We were like, we're going to be friends first. We're going to talk through things. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
You know?
I always wanted to touch your boobs, but I wasn't going to do it. I was not going to do it.
And, you know, there's a lot of people who will say, you know, you were 18. Did you really think you guys were going to be together forever? Like, you guys put a lot of work and effort into a relationship when you were so young. Did you really think it was going to last?
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah. It just felt different.
You were more confident early on than I was.
I was very confident.
I was very insecure. I was incredibly insecure. I'm still a little insecure about myself in general, but just more or less early on in our relationship, like I said, I was in my sad boy phase. Just because I got a girlfriend doesn't mean I'm suddenly better. That's not a cure-all. A lot of people think, oh, if I just had a girlfriend. That's literally every high school boy ever that self-diagnoses themselves with depression.
Yes.
They're just fucking like, if I had a girlfriend, I would be all better. No, you fucking wouldn't. Shut up.
Looking for a boyfriend-free girlfriend? A boyfriend-free girl?
I want a boyfriend-free girl. Oh, man. I'm working on it. Oh, dude. But no, it's not a cure-all, dog. It's not going to help you.
Dude, no. Honestly,
you still shoved that medallion up your ass.
Relationships can be a fucking mental killer.
For sure.
If you are not prepared.
And if it's not the right one.
Exactly. Sure. Yeah, if it's not the right one...
Yeah. If you just look for a girlfriend to have a girlfriend, you're going to fuck yourself over. Yep. It's got to come out of left field. It's got to come out of left field. At least that's my theory.
You have to not be looking for it.
Absolutely.
I stopped looking. Yeah. And like, what happened? Saw him touching my butt.
Yeah. I was getting head on a regular basis. I was fine. I was all right. I was receiving booty calls. Do you know how crazy that is to be a dude receiving booty calls? That is nuts. That was crazy.
I sent out a few.
Huh?
I sent out a few.
Yeah. What? Oh my god. The fucking Asian dude. It was the Asian dude, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That fucking guy.
It was so bad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I so regret that.
Because I know me and the friend.
You guys thought he looked like Freddie Benson. You guys thought he
Adam
looked...
Devine? The actor?
Oh, maybe. It was Adam Devine. You thought he looked like an Asian Adam Devine.
Yeah, I still have that picture on my phone. Of Adam Devine. When I took a picture off of Google of Adam Devine, and I was like, yo, are you fucking gonna let him hit? And then you did.
And it was the worst decision of my entire life.
Bad?
It was so bad.
You're not just saying that?
No, it was so bad.
What was the worst part? Let's get some details.
It was dry.
It was dry? He was just trying to
drier than this.
get it in there?
Yeah, it was drier than Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
He didn't give it a little...
You know, I say you're not my type, but honestly, you really are.
What do you mean?
Because my type is definitely a blue collar man. I am a blue collar lady lover all the frickin' way.
Nice.
And he was not that.
No. Well, I could have told you that. He was... I thought he was gay. I thought he was your gay friend.
He was a half twink.
Yeah, I thought he was your gay friend.
No, he was a half twink.
And then after me and the friend left I think we were seeing a movie that night. Oh my god, whoa, I don't want to go into too many details about this night. But that night fucked my head up so bad. Cuz this is when I really thought that this friend was like kind of coming on to me a little bit. I was obviously pretty wrong, but at the time, like, we were just sitting in like a parking lot in the middle of the night, and she was like, "You want to see a movie?" And we went to see the movie, and then she did that thing that you do where we were sitting and your legs were like slung over my lap, and I was like, "Fucking, is this fucking?" You did the same shit. Don't even. But no, like that night fucked with my head, and then the whole night. I knew you were getting raw dogged by Adam Devine back at the apartment.
That make you upset?
I was disappointed. I wasn't mad. I was just disappointed in you.
Had such low standards.
You did. That's how we got together.
Had such low standards.
You had low standards, and it just turned into something okay, you know?
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about our types. I want to go off on some crazy tangents after our origin story.
Sure.
Just to make up for the freaking hour we just spent.
Nothing wrong with that.
Talking about our origin story.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that, but...
That's what it's for.
But we do random tangents, and I want to talk about random tangents.
Okay.
Tell me your type.
My type?
Yeah.
Are we talking like personality, looks? What are we thinking? The whole shebang?
Whole shebang.
That's tough. I don't have a huge base to go off of. I have not been with a lot of people.
Yeah, but you know what you find attractive.
I've fucked more than I've been in a relationship, and I have not fucked a lot. Like, my body count, 5? I think? Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that including me?
No, it's 7 including you. It's 7 including you. I remember.
Okay.
But yeah, so 7 including you is just, yeah, that's, listen, I know yours is way higher. I understand that.
I am in the double digits. But not that much higher.
Think of me back in high school.
Fair.
Exactly.
Fair.
There's no way I was getting
kind of hot after I went to school. So.
After you went to school?
Yeah.
After you went to college?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We were together.
Not for a whole semester.
You were your hottest when we were together.
You're supposed to say I'm hot now.
Huh?
But I was. Honestly, like, my first semester at college, instead of gaining the freshman 15, I lost the freshman 15.
When do you think you were your hottest? I'll go back to my type here in a minute. I'm curious.
Probably like either the month before we got together or the month we got together.
I'm going to tell you right now you're wrong.
And then, wait, I was really hot then. And then
you know what my answer is.
Second time would be right after I lost all of that weight in 2021.
2021 was when you were the hottest. You were a fucking smoke. 2021 was your holy shit.
I lost 20 pounds and like...
We were just going at each other. We were just going at each other.
I lost 20 pounds in like 9 months. A
Yeah.
lot of people will be like, that's not a lot, but it was very sustainable.
Yeah, but also weight loss is different for everybody.
And it is.
So it's tough to be like, that's not impressive.
But I didn't do like, and
know.
I just want to preface this by saying like, that was a crazy amount for me. I do not lose weight very fast. I'm very short, so I keep I keep weight on me pretty easily. But I did a lot of weight training, and I ate what I fucking wanted to.
Dude,
I was not dieting.
Man.
Because I don't. So I did. I lost 20 pounds.
To me, that was when you were the hottest.
Thank you.
Absolutely. By far.
It was
but
like 25,
no.
But.
My type, if we're going by looks, I prefer shorter gals, not usually people like you short. My track record will say differently, but but I am attracted to shorter gals. I like titties. Nothing wrong with liking titties. I'm also one of those people that's like, tits or ass, why not both? You know, I'm the little girl from the taco commercial. Yes. Why not both?
You're right.
And I like redheads. I was in denial for a while, but I do. I like redheads. I do a lot.
Fiery.
Yeah, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
I like attitude.
Which I'm like a little surprised. I don't have a lot of ass. I do. Wait. Let me rephrase that.
2021, you had a lot of ass.
I had a lot of ass in 2021. I have a lot of ass now.
You got a lot of ass now. You got that Pixar mom shit going on.
I do.
I'm real happy about it.
I do.
Dude, you got like a solid handful on each cheek. It is a beautiful fucking thing.
I have a lot of ass.
But no, and then I like an attitude, of course. A little bit, not too much. You dial it up a little bit too much sometimes. You piss me off a little bit, you know. But you know,
angry sex is the best sex sometimes, though.
Sometimes. I prefer a certain level of forwardness because it's something that I don't pick up on. So if somebody lays down hints thick enough for me to pick up, then that's attractive to me because it's like, oh, I actually know this person's into me because it's somewhat obvious. You know what I mean? So I like somewhat forward, you know, tattoos, of course. Love tattoos. Let me think. Personality-wise.
Gonna like pause that for a sec. I have noticed that they're like tattoos have become more like higher on the attractive scale.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten so many on my so many compliments on my tattoos recently from other men that I was like, is that like like a thing?
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't sure if it was my tattoos that guys found attractive or the fact that I was crazy.
Both.
Cool. Good to know.
Because
Good
same.
to know. Go ahead, continue.
Because same. I like a certain level of craziness. Absolutely, a certain level of craziness. If you don't have at least a speck of mental disability, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Okay.
If you weren't into creepypastas in high school, I don't want it. If you didn't stay up late at night listening to some creepy dude on YouTube narrating Ben Drowned, I don't give a fuck. I don't want you near me. Music, of course, is a big thing for me. I prefer metalhead, but that's, of course, not exactly the easiest thing to find. Granted, we're in Ohio, so it's not that hard to find. They're everywhere. What else, personality-wise, do I like? Talker. Bitches who talk.
I talk a lot.
I like bitches who talk.
Guys, I talk so much.
Because that means in social situations, I don't have to do it quite as much.
I talk so much.
But with you have a lot of that anxiety.
I do. So
like,
I
take the lead a lot of the time.
I say I talk a lot. I talk a lot in private.
Yes.
So like I talk a decent amount on here.
Well, yeah, because to you, this is just...
It's just me and you.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not kidding. I can go on for like an hour and a half straight, no breaths, no breaks.
And you have.
And I have.
And I have tried my best to pay attention.
Yeah. But I just do it.
It's so hard sometimes. It's so hard. You will be going off about some shit I do not give half a fuck about.
So yeah. So he's into talkers. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I can't think of any. If you think of any that you've noticed, then of course point those out. But what about you? What are you thinking? What's your type?
So
let's get to the bottom of this because you seem to be having a little bit of an identity crisis.
I am, honestly. I really am. That's just being a mom though, having an identity crisis. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
So definitely my type. I am into like, I hate it. Like I'm really into blue collar men, like straight up blue collar. I usually like my men a little thicker. To be fair, you are decently thick.
Thank you.
Below the belt.
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
I mean, you have a fat ass.
Thank you. I get that a lot. I
do.
appreciate that.
But I usually prefer bigger guys. I like something to cuddle with.
You like husky fellers.
I do like the husky fellers.
Yeah, you like that dad bod.
I like
shit.
that dad bod. Oh my god, I like that.
I'm
dad
sorry
bod.
I can't provide you with that.
You are working on it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate my efforts to make you have a dad bod.
Yeah. Hey, I've been trying to gain weight for a good long time. It's true. That was a struggle for me growing up.
I do like a beard.
Yeah. Yeah, you like a beard, huh?
I do like the dark hair.
Yeah.
I do prefer guys with dark hair.
All right. We're getting somewhere now.
I do. That's like it. That's pretty much like it. Look, I like a guy who will put himself together. Like, who puts, like, effort into his appearance.
I mean, I guess I put some effort, but
Like,
I brush and comb my beard.
You do.
I
like the idea of, like, of course I do like blue collar men, but I also do like the idea of like a blue collar man like dressing up every now and then.
Yeah.
It's like a good collared shirt.
I do not.
Well, and not even like always like button up shirts and like slacks, but like well fitting pants. Putting some not just like pulling a random t-shirt out.
What about a thermal tucked into my pants, huh?
The thermal tucked in the pants works.
That's one of my new things.
It is,
and I'm not
really
gonna
like
lie,
it.
I kind of like it.
I like it.
I'm digging it. It's comfy. It's cozy. It's like a nice hug all the time.
Having someone who like puts effort into their hair too.
Yeah.
It's like effort into your appearance. Like taking
it.
care of yourself. You do wash it. Like taking care of yourself. I find like a man taking care of his self.
Yeah.
And like looking very like put together is so attractive to me.
My single tattoo doesn't get you going.
I do like tattoos. I'm not saying I don't like tattoos. I really do.
I don't have enough. I'm saying
It's
that more
not
for
that,
me because
yeah.
I don't think I have
You
enough.
don't.
I want a lot more. I have a lot of ideas, but no money.
And I really do like tattoos, but that's always
Yeah.
not like a deciding factor for me.
Uh-huh.
I do appreciate when someone does have tattoos because they understand my appreciation for tattoos. Because if you're a dateable guy around my age right now and you don't have a tattoo, the reason is because you think they're not great.
Yeah. It's like, why would you put a bumper sticker
Exactly.
on a BMW?
Yeah.
It's like, shut the fuck up with that gay shit.
Yeah, it makes you less attractive, or tattoos mean you're crazy, or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. It's like, what in the... Shut up, dude. Mind your own fucking business, bro.
So,
Go back to church, dog.
yeah.
Nobody cares.
Personality-wise, I do like them funny.
Yeah.
I like them funny.
That's why you're with me.
You gotta be able to fucking make me laugh, or it's not worth it.
Class clown. I got the first grade class clown ribbon right here, baby.
But I like people who can communicate. I like having conversations. And
That's my favorite thing to do.
And I like discussing, and I like some discourse sometimes.
Nice.
I like having petty arguments. I'm not even gonna lie. I love having petty arguments.
I think that's our biggest difference.
So someone I can have a petty argument with.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can have fake arguments.
We have.
I have fake arguments all the time. Actual petty arguments, I cannot stand. Cannot stand them.
I love them.
They make me so fucking angry because for me, I don't like being that kind of aggressive really anyway anymore. There was a time where that was kind of my whole thing. I've tried to move away from that. And yeah, it's like in my head the whole time I'm just like, why are we fighting about this? Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. It's so stupid. Shut the fuck up. You know, and it boils my blood.
I like them.
Yeah. But like you said,
but I am also
angry
a person.
fucking is like the shit. So like
It's
it's
fucking awesome.
fine sometimes.
Yeah. Also personality wise, I really like someone who appreciates my hobbies and the fact that I don't have any.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Because I say I have hobbies. It's because I like watching other people do my hobbies.
You're a
instead
fucking
of actually doing
wild
them.
card, homie. You are a wild card. Your hobbies change every other fucking month.
Yeah, I'm like this might be a little odd to say, but I'm like a person who's like super into aesthetics, but aesthetics of different things. Like 1 month I'll be like super into cottagecore, and the next month it's all like dark academia, and like the next month it's all things like bright yellow, and then the next month
bright
it's
yellow.
and like the next month it's like all wide mom shit. Like I literally change like my personality like all the time, and what I like all the time.
Yeah.
But that's
I wouldn't
because
say
I
you
like
change your personality. You're the same person, just a different font.
Yeah, I like to do that. I like to switch it up.
That's fine. That's why people think it's healthy to rearrange your living room every year.
I'm probably going to be the person who does it like every
I
2
like our
months.
setup right now, though.
I like our setup right now. But I'm also
pretty sick.
You know, give me like 10 more years and you'll probably come home to me randomly painting our bedroom at like 10 o'clock at night.
Fine.
But I'm that person. Like, I like change. I changed my hair a lot growing up, too. So, like, that's part of it, too.
I love that.
I love change.
Yeah.
I love change.
It always did make me nervous, though.
What?
You, like, doing a whole bunch of work on your hair, because you'd always be, like, bleaching it and doing this and treating it, this, that. I thought I was going to rip it out.
My hair?
Yeah. I was terrified of just fucking going at it caveman style and ripping out a handful and being like, no! And looking back at your bald spot and seeing my reflection. No! No! Just being horrified. Yeah.
I have...
Looking at my own O face through your bald spot reflection is my worst nightmare. It's a fucking disaster, dude. Oh, no. And then I'm just looking at my own face, but it's through your bald spot that I created with your tuft of hair in my hand. I'm like, what is happening?
Oh my god. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I have made an effort to take care of my hair now, though.
Yeah, you've done a lot better now.
And work on my curly hair journey.
Yeah, I do not have to worry anymore. And I can tell you one thing, I do not worry. I do not worry one bit.
Oh, you might. I'm starting to get my postpartum hair loss.
True, I'm gonna have to turn it down.
Which, by the way, any ladies listening, if you've had babies or you're having babies, just be warned. 4 months, that hair is falling the fuck out.
Yeah.
My brush, I am having to clean my brush like every day.
Yeah.
Because all my hair is falling out.
Your hair looks so fucking good in the morning after your shower, though.
Yeah, it still looks good.
You've been doing this. I don't know. It's this different thing you've been doing with your hair the last few months. Maybe not last few months. Maybe like last month or so. But like,
time works differently now. I added a different curl product.
Yeah. And
I stopped washing my hair as much.
Yeah.
That like, also was a mom.
You walk into the bedroom. Also, can I just say one thing? I am never, ever, ever going to be even slightly tempted to leave you. I want you to know that. Because do you realize what I wake up to every morning?
Tell the people what you wake up to.
Literally, yeah, I see that smile on your face because you know how good of a job you do. You're fucking insane. You are the best. You are absolutely the best. I wake up. I am not a morning person whatsoever. I am terrible with mornings. I've always been terrible with mornings. Well, when I was like a really little kid, I wasn't, but whatever. I grew up. You are much more of a morning person.
I love mornings.
Yeah.
I love them.
It's insane to me because mornings are the fucking bane of my existence. Like, late night is way more my jam. You're asleep by like 8:30, mostly, usually. But
it's 9:30. I'm doing
it's true.
good.
It's true. You're doing really good right now. That's the wine's helping. But no, I wake up. I wake up usually like 3 or 4 times because I always try to, like, I wake up and then I do that thing where my head's so heavy that I just pass out again. And then I get up again. I probably chug some water next to my bed just because that usually helps me a little bit. And then I like fall asleep halfway off the bed. And then I wake up to this strange sound of the door opening and footsteps. And all I hear is, "Coffee lady!" Coffee lady's here.
Coffee lady. Lady with the coffee.
Yeah, lady with the coffee. And I turn over, and I'm trying my hardest to wake up now because I don't want to disappoint you. I'm like, she needs me to be awake right now to help with this baby. I need to fucking get my shit together. So I go up, my eyes, I won't even say they're half closed. They are 3/4 closed. They are fucking, my eyes are pretty much closed, but I can see my eyebrows. Yes. My eyebrows are literally up because I'm trying to force my eyelids open because I'm like, I need to wake up. Give me the power. But it's early in the morning and I want to die. So like, I wake up and then there's this woman. There's this beautiful fucking woman all dressed up to the nines for work. Gorgeous hair because she just got out of the shower. Huge tits. Walking towards my end of the bed. With coffee. And a formula bottle.
I can't forget the bottle.
Every fucking morning. And it's like, it's the best. My heart gets a boner. I get a heart boner every time. Like it literally skips a beat. I'm like, ah.
And I want to give your morning from my perspective.
Yeah.
Before we hop
It's
off.
embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I know it is already.
I get up at 5:30. Between 5:30 and 5:45.
God damn, dude. You're fucking crazy.
Occasionally I'll sleep in until 6.
Oh, sleep until 6.
I jump in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get in my shower, I start your coffee.
Yeah.
And I break down all the bottles. Like, I take all the parts apart. And I lay them flat in the sink. And then I start your coffee, jump in the shower, wash up real quick, jump out of the shower. And while I'm in the shower, too, I think about what I'm going to wear that day. So I'm, like, already prepared when I get out.
Yeah.
I finish your coffee. I wash bottles. I bring you your coffee and the bottle, of course. Mm-hmm. Sometimes naked, sometimes dressed. It really does depend. Sometimes you don't notice.
Oh, I would notice if you're naked.
I put my towel on. Sometimes you don't notice. And, you know, by that point, I'm like, here's your coffee. Here's the bottle. I have already prepped all the baby's bottles for, you know, our sitter. And his clothes are already out. And I'm about to get dressed.
Well, the last couple times I've prepped them in the morning.
What?
This week
The bottles?
Yeah, this week I've done the prepping. I've been trying to do a little bit more in the morning because I feel
washed
bad.
the bottles. I've done the formula.
Yeah.
I still prep them.
Yeah.
All you do is wash the bottles.
Okay, all right. All right.
But, and then, like, so then you, like, sip your coffee and feed the baby, and I'm, like, getting dressed, and I'm running around the house, and then I get him dressed, and then I crash on the couch. Well, I crashed on the couch this week because I haven't been feeling great, but,
yeah.
like, most of the time that I'm, like, I get dressed, and then I'm making myself breakfast to go, and then sometimes I'm helping you make your breakfast, or sometimes I'm making my lunch. I've done your breakfast a couple times.
Couple times.
Or I'm, like, getting laundry together before your mom comes and watches the baby at our house. Like,
yeah.
I run around, and then I leave for work.
Yeah.
To be at work at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I'm at work for 8 to 8.5 hours.
And then you have the gall to sit here and be like, I love mornings.
I do.
Like, what?
I specifically love mornings when I'm off, though.
Yeah. I
love getting stuff done in the mornings. I feel so productive. It's such a productive way to start my day. If I don't do anything in the morning, I don't feel like I don't have that, like, built up energy. Like, I used to work out in the mornings before I'd go to work because it gave me that energy. It made me feel accomplished before.
Yeah. That works really well for some people. I have tried that.
I like feeling accomplished.
I've tried that quite a bit, actually, especially in the last house we lived in. I really gave it a whirl. Whoo boy. Mornings are my kryptonite. They're absolutely my kryptonite. I'm trying not to...
Yeah, but then when I get him up at, like, 6:30 on the weekends, and I've made us, like, a really good breakfast, and we're getting ready to watch TV, and it's, like, 7:30, almost 8 o'clock now, and we're sitting in front of our breakfast, watching TV, and the baby's, like, all content and happy. You're like, oh, I love getting up early.
That's the thing, though. I love getting up early as long as I'm not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that because I feel like I have a deadline. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's just how I work.
Yeah, I don't know. I like feeling that I, like, had a life before work.
That's fair. Even though it's early, but no, but like my view of seeing this gorgeous woman come to me with coffee in a bottle, and then right after that, I get to see this same gorgeous woman walk up to me with my son and throw him at me like a basketball.
I do not throw our son like a basketball.
No, you lightly set him on top of me, and he does the whole thing where he curls up a little bit. You know, we do our little cuddle thing, and I feed him in the bed. His eyes are all open. He's smiling because he likes to smile in the morning for some reason.
He's a smiley baby.
He's a happy good morning baby.
Happy good morning baby.
Yeah. I always hear that. Like, in my delirium, like around the third or fourth time I've woken up, and I'm like shuffling around in the bed trying to figure out a way that I can salvage some sort of awakeness. to move forward with, I always hear that echoing in the back of my mind. Happy good morning, baby, in the corner of the fucking bedroom. And I'm like, that means I have to get up. I have to get up.
Yeah,
and then
because like
I
I'll just
smothered
walk.
myself with a pillow again.
Because I usually just like walk by his crib in the morning, and I see him, and he's like smiling and playing with his hands, and then he like looks up at me and smiles, and I'm just like,
It's the best.
There's my happy good morning, baby.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best morning I could possibly have.
It's fantastic, guys. Make sure you have fantastic morning routines.
Or make sure you have the best human being in the world.
Oh my God, stop.
To hand feed you that amazing morning routine. Because I could never do that. I could never do that on my own. I'd be a wreck. I'd be an absolute disaster. So, thank you.
You're welcome. So, before we leave, because I want to eat Oreos in bed.
Leaving for food again?
Leaving for food
Check
again.
off the bingo card?
Every single time.
Yeah.
It's our nightly snack. I want to talk about the origin of our name.
Eating Twinkies in the dark.
Eating Twinkies in the dark.
Eating Twinkies in the dark. It's such a nothing story. But I love it. Because it really is just like, it's one of those things where if you know us, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because earlier in our, I don't know what you want to call it, parenting journey, it was one of those deals where getting him to sleep was a little bit more of a chore. Now he sleeps through the night, most nights, tonight. So yeah, it was one of those things where we were walking on eggshells every night, pretty much. He wasn't the worst. He was not the worst. Looking back, he was not.
But it was
terrible.
definitely like for him to like stay in a good sleep. He had to have a sound machine. It had to be dark. We had to be mostly quiet, at least for a little bit. Like we had moved him in our bedroom, and he needed quiet at least a little bit. Like the TV, if we had the TV on, it was starting to bother him.
Yes.
Now not so much, because usually he's like asleep before we turn the TV on.
He's also in the opposite corner of the room where he literally cannot see the TV. Like the TV is in an alcove where it literally does not.
But it was kind of a rough parent day. It was a rough parent day. It was like before I went back to work.
Yeah.
And I needed a snack.
Which for most people would probably consider you not being at work yet to be a good parent day, because it's like, oh, you don't have to go to work, but you're a fucking wreck without work.
I'm a wreck without work. So like it was like one of those days, and I was just really struggling, and it was just like time to go to bed, and we had all of the lights off. Like we had my phone.
Yeah.
And
we were watching
Zach
YouTube.
was like throwing Twinkies, threw Twinkies at me, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna eat Twinkies in the dark because our baby has not been like exactly happy with his sleeping right now. Yeah. And so he looks at me, he's like, yep, we're eating Twinkies in the dark, and I'm like, that'd be a great podcast name.
That's it.
Boom, end story.
That's it.
That'd
be great.
But that's literally like the definition of our parenting is just like hiding away right now and eating Twinkies in the dark.
Yep. It was pitch black.
It
was a pretty good visual because we were both like buck naked, just in bed curled up with like 17 blankets.
Yep. All you could hear is our son's sound machine
and the crinkling of the Twinkie wrappers. Every once in a while, like I'd be like, nom nom nom, because I really like Twinkies. I'd be like, ooh.
Not only that, but we were having like these conversations that we have like on the podcast are very similar to conversations we just have randomly throughout our days.
Yeah.
And we had one of those. Really?
Yeah. Go on.
And we were having one of those. We were eating Twinkies in the dark, talking about how parenting has changed us. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, this would be a great podcast name. And that's literally what we do now. We kind of sit. It's dark in this room right now, but it's not normally. But we just sit and talk like how we normally talk to each other.
This is kind of a vibe, though.
It's a vibe.
Without the lamp on, it's kind of a vibe. It's not bad.
But so we just we sit and we talk to each other. And that's really like the whole emphasis of that conversation was eating Twinkies in the dark and just talking to each other.
Yeah.
So we kind of, I I wanted to talk about our origin story today because I feel like it's a great story, and I feel like some of the comments we've gotten or like messages you've gotten is asking us like a little bit more about like us personally and not just like our opinions on things.
Yeah, and you know, I've only been kind of a half open book, especially when it comes to like the internet and everything, just because I'm very paranoid. Because I've heard a lot of terrible things about what happens to people who, you know, give too much of their information out on the internet and give out their personal lives on the internet and what people say about them. And some of it, I'll be honest, was being a stereotypical man and protecting you from hurtful things people might say and how it might affect you when you don't need that protection, but it's just me being a dick. And you know, there's a lot of things about it, like us being in the house we're in now. If that were ever to become an issue, you know, which granted, that doesn't really happen with 99.99999% of people who do anything on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's one of those things where I like to keep my possibilities open. And say we win the lottery and that does happen and we get that crazy kind of unthinkable audience, and our location becomes an issue, that would not be an option for me because this house is our forever home.
Mm-hmm.
We will not move. There's just a lot of paranoia that comes with that for me personally, and I've always been really uncomfortable with sharing that kind of stuff, but I'm kind of over that stuff. Now that I've had the kid, it's like I've kind of accepted the fact that I don't have the time to invest into this kind of stuff for us to really get to that point. And I'm totally complacent with that because when I get to wake up every morning the way that I do and spend the days that I do the way that I do, I have nothing to complain about. Why not just be...
This is the perfect side project. It's the perfect side project.
Yeah, it's just a little thing.
Perfect little... I don't want to say perfect. I'm sorry. It's just like a great community for us to create for us.
Yeah. Here's my thing is like, I don't like joining somebody else's community and I don't like forcing other people into my community.
No. So
I just like,
this,
I like,
half the time this podcast is for us and for us only.
Pretty much.
Anyone who listens is like
more than welcome.
More than welcome.
Absolutely.
If you want to hear really about like the minute details of our in the big scheme of things, insignificant life.
Yeah.
Very mundane.
Yeah.
Very American dream. Go for it.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit, you know. But it's just one of those things where, you know, you see all these podcasts and stuff where people have the big elaborate sets and the big elaborate studios, and you know, it's all these crazy high production value things, and like, while that's something that I think is very admirable, and it takes so much work to do. Not having the time to invest to create something like that, I'd rather just create something that's 110% organically us, and throw it out into the void. And if anybody sticks to it, great. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't like trying to conform ourselves into something specific to appeal to a specific group of people. That it feels disingenuous to me. And like, if people are into what we talk about and how we talk about it, then that's a completely different thing. Like,
we've always wanted our podcast to seem like it was just like us hanging out. And that's what it is. It's just us hanging out with microphones in front of our face.
Fucking
and
literally.
Half the time I forget they're here, so if I'm breaking your ears, I am so sorry. I generally forget it's here sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's what we wanted it to feel like. Because honestly, when you do like search podcasts nowadays too, like a lot of it is higher production value because more people are listening to podcasts now, which is great too. Like, don't get me wrong, I listen to a fair amount of those.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love podcasts. You kidding me?
But like, you don't hear a lot about people who are living very similar lives to you. Like, the podcasts I listen to are very much like, I don't want to say privileged people, but privileged people. Like, that's what it is. Because you get the opportunity to actually make a good podcast show, and I don't. Like, we're barely making it, and a lot of podcasts do start this way.
Yeah.
But this isn't like a Reddit podcast. We're not reading Reddit stories.
We could.
And I think I will do an episode about Reddit stories I find for you.
Oh, fuck.
But, like, it's very much just, like, what we do in our lives, just kind of put on the internet.
Absolutely.
Our opinions. And I think that's great. I think it's great to have that content somewhere on the internet because it's realistic. We're not, like, if we were a parenting podcast, sugarcoating the, like, horrors of parenting. I will never do that. I will be honest about it 100% of the way.
Yeah, and that's, like, it's one of those things where, I forget where I heard it, but somebody was talking about how it, oh, Jesus. It might have actually been us.
What?
Might have been me editing our own podcast, and I'm trying to use it as a quote. That's a little tough, but something that I said in a earlier podcast was about boxes, right? About how people try to make a new box for themselves and just themselves, and that just ends up being a new label for another box of people. And I guess that's what we're doing, in a way. I want to kind of stay away from the labels a little bit because I don't want it to be specifically a parenting podcast. I don't want it to be specifically a Reddit podcast. I don't want to be specifically a podcast with just me and you. You know, get some other people in here, which we're going to do soon. And, you know, and I don't want it to stick to a specific thing because, honestly, life doesn't stick to a specific thing. Life is so many different things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So many fucking different things. It's bananas. It's overwhelming. But that's my vision for it anyway, is to never be something that's blown out of proportion, over dramatic or anything like that. I just want it to be what it is.
Yeah. It's literally just us sitting at a table.
Literally
in our
just
office,
a table.
Staring at each other. I'm drinking wine.
I like staring at you.
I like staring at you.
Aw. Thanks.
I am so glad we got to talk about our story today.
Yeah? Make you happy a little bit?
Yeah, I like reliving it sometimes.
I don't. I like reliving aspects of it. It was a very stressful time.
It was a stressful time, but it makes me feel glad that we have grown so much from
it. Does make me proud of myself.
Yeah.
And proud of us in general. Because we were both not in good places, but of course I only know my own perspective, and I know personally for me that was a really, really bad time for me. So it is a little tough looking back through it because sometimes it brings some of those feelings back, but it does make me proud to know that we've got here in the family home, my dream house growing up, ever since I was a little boy, with my own little boy, with you, coffee lady with the coffee. It's unbelievable. Living the fucking good life. It's so good. This is so good.
This is what, honestly, like, we're just kind of showcasing, and life is different for everybody, but this is what life looks like for us.
Yeah.
And it's normal. It's not crazy. We're not buying crazy things. We're not doing Mr. Beast shit. We're not.
Ooh, man, though. I would. Man. There's some high-ticket items I would like to.
We're not doing insane. We're not interviewing Elon Musk. We're not doing crazy shit.
You think we could get Elon in here?
No.
I bet you we could.
I don't want to.
Can we start a petition?
No.
I would love to interview Elon Musk.
No.
You don't have to sit in. It's fine.
No.
You can stay out there.
No.
If it's just me and Elon in here, I will hotbox this office with Elon Musk.
All right. We need to go to bed.
I know. We need to eat Oreos.
I need Oreos.
It's paramount. All right. It's nice talking to you.
It's nice talking to you. Thanks for listening.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to everybody actually listening to our insane...
Our random ramblings?
Ramblings.
Random ramblings?
So if you are listening, thank you.
Our random ramblings?
Our random ramblings.
Our random rambling?
Our random
rambling?
Coffee lady.
Lady with
coffee. Out.
It's so fucking stupid.